Welcome to the Traveling Cheesehead Podcast, where real stories, local voices, and unforgettable destinations come together. This is Destination Diaries, conversations with people who know their destinations best.
Hi friends, I'm Dannelle, the Traveling Cheesehead. Travel writer, TV host, and someone who believes the best trips don't start with a bucket list, they start with a conversation. Every week, I sit down with someone who knows their destination inside and out to uncover the stories, flavors, and experiences that make it truly worth the trip. After the break, you'll meet this week's guest. So grab a cup of coffee, of course in your travel mug, and let's hit the road. Okay, everybody, buckle up and get ready for a fun ride today. I want to introduce my guest. I'm thrilled to be joined by JR, and he's from Arkansas. Beautiful location. So first of all, JR, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here with you.
Now, I am so glad to have you here, but before we dive into the fun stuff, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do that makes your destination such a great place to visit?
I am lucky to be the executive director of Destination Rogers, which in short means I am the tourism guy for Rogers, Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. I've been here for 10 years. I've been doing leisure and hospitality for 35 years now, but landed in Northwest Arkansas in 2015, just as this place was getting jet fueled for growth and for destination development, and have just been able to be part of that and get out and sing the song of Rogers in Northwest Arkansas and why people need to come visit and see what we have to offer them.
Fabulous. Now, we're going to jump right into the questions, because we've got some good stuff just from the little conversation you and I have already had. So let's just start with what makes your destination special, the thing that really surprises most first-time visitors, that maybe something people don't expect when they arrive, that they end up talking about long after they leave.
We hear this from our visitors. We hear this from media that have come in. They had no idea that there was so much to do and such world-class amenities in a small town in Northwest Arkansas. And there's either a perception or no perception at all, maybe, of Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. People just don't know what to expect. But they come here and we truly have a small town feel. We have authentic Americana in our historic downtown, but then we have world-class food, culinary activities, outdoor adventure, and all of that adds up to just quite a surprise for our visitors. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, is they had no idea there was so much to do here in Rogers and Northwest Arkansas.
Isn't it kind of fun being underestimated, especially like in the Midwest corridor? We tend to be seen as the flyover areas, but yet we have so many incredible gems that people need to experience.
And we found that coming out of COVID, right? I mean, when people were looking for safe, outdoor, less crowded, all of the above destinations, so many of them turned to Arkansas, and they discovered the natural state. And then they discovered Northwest Arkansas and said, people from Texas, let's say Dallas Metro, within 5 hours, I've got a place that is evergreen, 24/7, 365. I can be outside all the time. We've got award-winning chefs, we have outdoor entertainment, world-class entertainment, all these different things like that. So yes, it is nice to be underestimated and to overperform when we get there.
So let's say, we love our weekend warriors, the people who like to venture into communities and things like that on the weekends. So let's say someone has only 48 hours in your area in Rogers. What would the perfect 2-day itinerary look like? Some of the absolute must see, must do, and must experience kind of highlights of the area.
I think downtown Rogers is the star of that 48 hours. And I should say we're almost a little bit of a tale of two cities. There's a lot of development that's out on the west side of Rogers, on where I-49 is, where we come through. And then downtown Rogers is about 15 minutes to the east. Downtown Rogers has a historic walkable downtown. You can park the car one time in the morning, come down to Rogers at 10 o'clock in the morning or so and park and experience small business shopping, authentic shopping in downtown Rogers. You've got what was voted the best coffee bar in North America.
Ooh.
Coffee Labs, which is headquartered in downtown Rogers in a historic building that draws folks from all over the world for their world-class coffee and ambiance. It's just a really, really cool space. So you bring the whole family down there. We've got small museums such as the Daisy Air Gun Museum. Now, if you folks, guys remember that, their first gun was a Daisy that they learned to shoot with, or that the family had. And they are based in Rogers. Their manufacturing is in Rogers, and they have a museum in downtown with the world's largest BB gun. You can get your picture taken in front of the world's largest BB gun in downtown Rogers, which is so cool. It's the great selfie spot in downtown. And all that's just walkable all the way around downtown. Then stop at some of our James Beard Award nominee chef restaurants in downtown Rogers that you would be surprised to find in a town such as Rogers, Arkansas. There's things for the kids to do at Rogers Historical Museum. There's a great park that's downtown that, again, you bring the family and the kids and your bikes. If somebody wants to go do museums, they can do that. If somebody wants to go ride the trail that's around downtown Rogers and down to Lake Atalanta, which is our city lake, you can go do that too, and then meet up later in the day for a meal. It's a great, great start to your 48 hours.
Wow. Okay, I'm still kind of back over on the word coffee. I'm a huge coffee fan. I have my own coffee line, and I'm actually going to be going to Cartagena in Costa Rica this year for different coffee plantation events and stuff. So when you were like coffee lab, I'm like, ooh, okay. On my bucket, my car's automatically pulling over in your area now.
Yeah, Onyx is the real deal. They have done coffee differently than anybody else in the world. Very quickly, they were profiled in an online streaming platform called Coffee, the Universal Language, earlier this year. Their first episodes were on places like Los Angeles, New Orleans, San Diego, and then Rogers, Arkansas. And they came to profile the coffee scene in Rogers. And one of those highlights was Onyx. But they're housed in a 1907 old grocery warehouse building in downtown Rogers that is the hub of their operations, and they are just on fire right now. And they're such great people and great community partners for everything that happens here in Rogers. We're just proud to have them here.
Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And I love that they're repurposing old buildings and giving them new life. So that's fabulous. Which kind of takes us to the next question. I think food is such a huge part of travel. It connects us to the people, the history of the area. And so, like, what's one local food or drink visitors absolutely have to try? And where should they go to get the real deal?
So I mentioned Onyx Coffee. I think that's a gimme on that. And they have locations throughout Northwest Arkansas. Rogers is their hub, and it's a great walking experience. But their coffee is superb. They source it all around the world. And that is a fantastic other thing. In that same building in downtown Rogers are two other Beard-nominated chefs and establishments. So there are three James Beard establishments in the same building in downtown Rogers, because Onyx was nominated as one of the best bars in North America as well this year. But one of the other establishments is called Yayo's, and it is a taqueria y mezcaleria, and they feature and highlight authentic heritage mezcals from Mexico. So if you're going to come for the coffee, maybe later in the evening you try a little hit of mezcal at Yayo's. That's in it is an experience. There is an entire. It's almost like drinking bourbon. You have to taste it a certain way. There's a certain element that you have to go through, and each one of them has their own little story. I would be remiss if I didn't also mention there's a very exclusive restaurant called Heirloom at the 1907 that is in that building that was also their chef. Jason Paul was nominated for a Beard Award this year as well. But then one of our other Beard nominees in Rogers, and he has restaurants around the area, Wright's Barbecue. It is about as good a queue as you're going to get anywhere else in the world. And he has a place over on the west side of town that is just packed 24/7, 365. But if I was going to tell somebody to go get something to eat or drink, you need coffee from Onyx, you need some mezcal from Yayo's, and you need some barbecue from Wright's.
Ooh, that just sounds like the trifecta of heaven right there. Although I might do the mezcal after so that I can taste the barbecue. Yes. Tell us about a piece of hidden history or like a story from your area that most visitors don't know, but probably should.
So Rogers was founded as a railroad town back in 1881. And I'll back up even farther. This area was populated by Native Americans before everybody else got here. So there were hunting trails that came through Northwest Arkansas. One of those trails, as after America got established and going into the early 19th century, unfortunately also became one of the parts of the Trail of Tears for the relocation of some of the natives from the east and from North Carolina. So there was a trail that came through and was part of that network that then winded its way west into the Oklahoma Territory. That same trail then later became a stagecoach line. And part of a stagecoach line, it was called the Butterfield Stagecoach, that came into existence in the late 1850s, similar to the Pony Express. There was another route that was out delivering mail from the east to the west coast, as the expansion of the country went across. And the Butterfield Trail came through and had stations in Northwest Arkansas, including in Rogers, Arkansas. That same trail, unfortunately, the Civil War disrupted all of that, and the Butterfield Trail went out of business. But in 1878, the St. Louis and San Francisco Railroad was looking for a new route and a new depot on a new route from St. Louis west out to the West Coast. And they were looking for a location, and they chose Rogers, Arkansas, which at one point wasn't called Rogers, in this site that was opened in 1881, mainly because of the natural springs that were here. Think about when you had a railroad going west in the 1870s, what did that railroad need to run? That's a steam engine, so it needs water. And there was a plentiful water supply in Rogers. So in 1881, they built the depot. It's a long story, I'm making it short. They built the depot here in Rogers, and the local citizens named the city after the general manager of the railroad, Captain Charles Warrington Rogers, and voila, city of Rogers becomes a railroad town. The railroad history and the Frisco Railroad is still very, very, very baked into our DNA here in Rogers. It is still a live train line. That Arkansas and Missouri Railroad that we were talking about earlier about the tour train comes through downtown Rogers, and we call our downtown park the Rail Yard Park. We have a live stage for music. That's the Butterfield Stage that we have live music and free music on Fridays and Saturdays in the summertime. So it all connects to that railroad history that we have here in Rogers.
Fabulous. Yeah, railroads could make or break different areas back in the day. And if they were smart, after a lot of the railroad trade switched to interstates, they were able to keep reinventing themselves and be relevant today, just like Rogers is. So yay.
And what was interesting, I found out that what they would do when they established these lines is they would go back east to Chicago and to Cleveland and to whatever, and go put out ads to get people to ride these railroads and try and get businesses to, this is the way to go west. So what happened was the railroad brought people that then saw a nice place to invest, and they brought their business and they stopped and they wanted to relocate. And it was a relocation hub, even as part of the railroad development.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just fabulous part of our history. Incredible. If visitors really want to meet local people in Rogers and feel a part of the community, not just kind of pass through, where should they go or what should they do?
I think they should come to downtown Rogers on a Saturday. And I'll pick out a Saturday in the summer because we have a wonderful farmers market that happens on a Saturday morning. So you come down to downtown Rogers on a Saturday morning and you plug into the local community, strolling through the farmers market in our Rail Yard Park, which is a linear park in downtown Rogers. On one end of it, over on the side, is Onyx Coffee Lab. So you could stop and get your coffee in the morning. You can do the thing through the farmers market and connect with all the local folks, not just the local vendors, but the local people that are there. Take time during the daytime to go to the Rogers Historical Museum, go to the Daisy Air Gun Museum, and really get an idea of the heritage and history of Rogers. Then go eat dinner that night, either at one of our established restaurants down there, the Raila Pizza Place, or at the Iron Horse, or some of our other restaurants that are in downtown Rogers. And then in the evening, as I mentioned, there's live music for free on the Butterfield Stage in the summertime on Fridays and Saturdays. Downtown Rogers, most of downtown Rogers is also an entertainment district. So what you can do is you can go get yourself a slice of pizza and a beer for the folks, stroll out to the park, eat dinner at the park, and listen to the music with the kids, and just have this relaxing evening under the stars with really great free music. And the kids are playing in the park. The adults are over there having a beverage and enjoying the music. It is a magical time. I'm not exaggerating. It's just one of the coolest places to be part of that.
Well, that kind of takes us right into the next question, because we know that, times are tight for some people. Budgets are a little, tough, but travel doesn't have to be expensive to be memorable. I usually say, what's a great way to explore your destination on a budget? And I mean, I know that you said you had outdoor experiences. You just mentioned that free concert experience and how amazing that is. What other thoughts do you have?
Yes. Yeah. And Rogers is affordable. I think either on the weekend or on a late week, if you're talking about hotel prices, one of the things people need to know about here is we have a very, very heavy corporate influence here in Northwest Arkansas as the home to Walmart and JB Hunt Trucking and Logistics and Tyson Foods, the largest protein manufacturer in North America. That brings a whole lot of corporate travel and corporate meetings, and those happen early in the week. So it's kind of a flip from people thinking, oh, if I go on a Monday or a Tuesday, I'm going to get a better hotel rate. 7 times out of 10, that's not going to work here in Rogers and in Northwest Arkansas. It's really heavy corporate. If you come on a Thursday and come through the weekend a little bit, Thursday, Friday, you're actually going to probably get a better hotel rate or even an Airbnb rate at that point. But I think there's some very affordable family things to do downtown. I haven't even mentioned that we're the gateway to the Ozarks. Here in Rogers, if you drive just a little bit east, you start getting into the Ozark Mountains and outdoor activities. The largest state park in the Arkansas State Park System, there are 52 state parks in the Arkansas State Park System, that is free to admission is Hobbs State Park. It's the largest. It sits out in the foothills of the Ozark. There are free trails. There are outdoor activities. They have classes. They have all kinds of different things, a great visitor center there where people can bring the kids and have a great time. Beaver Lake is also a big fishing lake that has free launch areas and year-round fishing for all kinds of different species if you're into that kind of outdoor type of stuff. I need to mention Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville as well, which is right next to Rogers over on the west side. That is a world-class, an outstanding museum that is a must-see if you're coming to Northwest Arkansas. Admission is free. That is a gift by the Walton family, where they do not charge admission to their regular exhibits at Crystal Bridges. And if you're coming to Rogers in Northwest Arkansas, you need to make the time to see this outstanding art museum and explore downtown Bentonville as well. They've got a great city too. Take some time to do all of those, which you can do very much on an affordable budget.
Fabulous. You've got art, nature, culture, all these different things tied in together. I told you my car's going to pull over.
There you go. We can do it. We can do it. Come on.
Well, that takes us to our last question. This has gone so fast and been fun. What is your favorite only here experience? Something visitors truly can't do anywhere else but in Rogers.
So many things to choose about. I mean, one of the events I think, there are some other events that are around here, but we have one of the largest motorcycle rallies that happens in North America in downtown Rogers in fall in September and October. And that is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. We welcome about 300,000 visitors to Rogers in Northwest Arkansas at that time. We have a lot of people that come just to experience the whole thing, whether they ride or not. And if you do, or if you're in the area, to see people going around through the Ozarks and the rides that are out in the country, I think it's an outstanding opportunity just to understand where nature and these type of events kind of intersect. And it's great entertainment, great music, great food, great all of that. The week before, we also have a LPGA women's golf tournament. So if you want to go from one end to the other, you can go spectate at a great event that happens at Pinnacle Country Club here in Rogers, and then hang out through the week, and then hang out for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and then watch the leaves turn. And then the next week in October is our craft fair weekend, where there's 7 or 8 craft fairs around Northwest Arkansas as the leaves are turning in October. Just come in October, you're just going to stay for the entire month.
It sounds like a plan. Now, I'm going to throw in one little thing here. So tell our listeners, you haven't been to Rogers, Arkansas, unless you have what?
Spent a summer night in downtown Rogers.
That pretty well says it. I mean, especially the way you sold that already, that visual of the kids playing and the adults and the music and the stars. And that just sounds like heaven. I mean, people are taking vacations to relax. And ideally, that is what they should be doing instead of the bucket list where they're so busy checking things off the list, they're not there in the moment. So when you can help create magical experiences to let them just reconnect.
And I put in one more plug. Check your calendar when you're coming. We also are the home of the Walmart Arkansas Outdoor Amphitheater, and we have the largest outdoor amphitheater in the state. It seats 12,000 and has a very robust concert season from April through October. That's over in Uptown Rogers, what we call Uptown, over by the interstate. So, and it's a regional draw. We get folks that drive in from Oklahoma and Missouri and even Texas for certain concerts and come in. They just announced this week, within the last 4 days, the Black Crowes. They also announced Motionless in White, who I don't really know who they are, but we've also got, and Tim McGraw. So you've got all these different type of acts that are coming at that point. The point being, you can grab a really great concert that you maybe on your bucket list as you're doing all these other things too, depending on what time of year you're going to travel.
Fabulous. Well, JR, thank you so much for sharing your local expertise and insider tips with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure learning more about Rogers, Arkansas, and I'm sure our listeners are ready to plan their next adventure.
I'm so happy to be here, Dannelle. Thank you so much for contacting us. It's been a blast.
So all you out there listening, if you're ever in Rogers, Arkansas, you need to check out some of the different things that JR has been talking about. It just, to me, sounds like a must see, and I think my car is going to automatically pull over when I get by the area. So to stay connected with Rogers, you're going to want to look at the show notes, and you'll get travel tips, local stories, and updates, all the ways to connect with them. So thank you again so much, JR.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
If today's conversation made you think, yeah, I want to go there, then we have done our job.
You've been listening to the Traveling Cheesehead Podcast. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your best travel buddies. Check back for another Destination Diaries episode every week. Thanks for listening. This has been a Traveling Cheesehead production.
I'm Dannelle Gay, reminding you that adventure doesn't always mean far away. Sometimes it's just one great story away. See you on the road beyond the exits.